Sunday school friends, this is Miss Casey, and today I have my daughter Addie with me to help with Sunday school.
Hi friends, happy Easter!
Jesus is risen. Today is a special day, and it is Easter Day, and on Easter we remember the day Jesus came back to life, and we also remember that Jesus died on the cross for us to take away all our sins or the bad things that we do. But did Jesus stay dead? No, he came back to life. And that is the good news that we get to share with others. So before we start with our Bible story today, I want to do something fun that we usually do in the kindergarten and first grade classroom before we start our lesson each week. And that is, we usually go around the circle and I ask all the kids the same question, and they get to share with their friends at Sunday school something about whatever our story is going to be about. And today, my question to you is, what is your favorite thing to do at Easter? And so Addie and I are going to share our favorite things to do, and then what I want you to do is to share with the people in your family and have them share with you what their favorite things to do is at Easter. So I'm going to go first. My favorite thing to do at Easter is, well, I have two things. First of all, I love to go to church with my family at the sunrise service, and I love to sing all the beautiful songs that we get to sing at Easter. And the other thing that I love to do is I love to decorate and color Easter eggs. And Addie, what is your favorite thing to do?
I like to do Easter hunts and play games with my family.
So I want you guys to ask your family members and find out what their favorite thing to do at Easter. All right? All right, so we're going to read our story again today out of the Jesus Storybook Bible. So again, if you have this Bible, you can pause our video and you can run and grab your Jesus Storybook Bible, and then you can come back so you can follow along as we read the story. And remember, if you don't have this Bible, no big deal. We'll try to show you the pictures the best we can. And today, our Easter story is found on page 302. So you can open it up if you do have it and find this story. And we are going to actually go back a little bit from the Easter story, just because last week when Bethany and Nora and Abby brought you your lesson, it was from about the Last Supper. So we're going to back up just a little bit before Easter morning and talk about the crucifixion and when Jesus died on the cross, so that it makes more sense when we get to our story today. So here we go. Addie's going to show you the pictures, and then we're going to back up a little bit and read you the story. It says, "So you're a king, are you?" the Roman soldiers jeered. "Then you'll need a crown and a robe." They gave Jesus a crown made out of thorns and put a purple robe on him and pretended to bow down to him. "Your Majesty," they said. Then they whipped him and spat on him. And they didn't understand that this was the Prince of Life, the King of heaven and earth, who had come to rescue them. The soldiers made a sign, "Our King," and nailed it to a wooden cross. They walked up a hill outside the city. Jesus carried the cross on his back. Jesus had never done anything wrong, but they were going to kill him the way criminals were killed. All right, and Addie's going to show you the next picture. All right. They nailed Jesus to the cross. "Father, forgive them," Jesus gasped. "They don't understand what they are doing." "You say you've come to rescue us," people shouted, "but you can't even rescue yourself." But they were wrong. Jesus could have rescued himself. A legion of angels would have flown to his side if he'd called. "If you really are the Son of God, you could just climb down off that cross," they said. And of course they were right. Jesus could have just climbed down. Actually, he could have just said a word and made it all stop, like when he healed the little girl and stilled the storm and fed 5,000 people. But Jesus stayed. You see, they didn't understand. It wasn't the nails that kept Jesus there. It was love. "Papa," Jesus cried, frantically searching the sky. "Papa, where are you? Don't leave me." And for the first time and the last, when he spoke, nothing happened. Just a horrible, endless silence. God didn't answer. He turned away from his boy. Tears rolled down Jesus' face, the face of the one who would wipe away every tear from every eye. All right, and here's the next picture. Even though it was midday, a dreadful darkness covered the face of the world. The sun could not shine. The earth trembled and quaked. The great mountains shook. Rocks split into two until it seemed that the whole world would break. That creation itself would tear apart. The full force of the storm of God's fierce anger at sin was coming down on his own son instead of his people. It was the only way God could destroy sin and not destroy his children whose hearts were filled with sin. Then Jesus shouted in a loud voice, "It is finished!" And it was. He had done it. Jesus had rescued the whole world. "Father," Jesus cried, "I give you my life." And with a great sigh, he let himself die. Strange clouds and shadows filled the sky, purple, orange, black, like a bruise. And here's the next picture. Jesus' friends gently carried Jesus. They laid Jesus in a new tomb carved out of rock. How could Jesus die? What had gone wrong? What did it mean? They didn't know anything anymore, except they did know their hearts were breaking. "That's the end of Jesus," the leaders said. But just to be sure, they sent strong soldiers to guard the tomb. They hauled a huge rock in front of the door to the tomb so that no one could get in or out. And now we're going to get to our Easter story. Jesus' friends were sad. They would never see their best friend again. How could this happen? Wasn't Jesus the rescuer? The king God had promised? It wasn't supposed to end like this. Yes, but whoever said anything about the end? Just before sunrise, on the third day, God sent an earthquake and an angel from heaven. And when the guards saw the angel, they fell down with fright. The angel rolled the huge stone away, sat on top of it, and waited. At the first glimmer of dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other women headed to the tomb to wash Jesus' body. The early morning sun slanted through the ancient olive trees, drops of dew glittering on the leaves and grasses, like tears everywhere. The friends walked quietly along the hilly path through the olive groves until they reached the tomb and immediately noticed something odd. It was wide open. They peered through the opening into the dark tomb. But wait! Jesus' body was gone! Okay, and now we have another page that goes a different direction. And something else. A shining man was there with clothes made from lightning. "Don't be scared," the angel said. But they couldn't help it. They screamed anyway. The angel asked them, "What are you doing here? This is a tomb, and tombs are for dead people." The women couldn't speak. "Jesus isn't dead anymore," he said. "He's alive again." And their hearts leapt. And then the angels laughed with such gladness that they felt for a moment as if they had woken up from a nightmare. The other women rushed home, but Mary stayed behind. How could it be true? Jesus was definitely dead. How could he be alive? Just then, Mary heard someone else in the garden. Perhaps it's the gardener, she thought. He'll know where Jesus' body is. "I don't know where Jesus is," Mary said urgently. "I can't find him." But it was all right. Jesus knew where she was, and he had found her. Mary! Only one person said her name like that. She could hear her heart thumping. She turned around. She could just make out a figure. She shaded her eyes to see and thought she was dreaming. But she wasn't dreaming. She was seeing. Jesus? Mary fell to the ground. Sudden tears filled her eyes and great sobs shook her whole body, and all she wanted in that moment was to cling to Jesus and never let go. "You'll be able to hold on to me later, Mary," Jesus said gently, "and always be close to me. But now go and tell the others that I am alive." We better show you the picture. Mary ran and ran all the way to the city. She had never run so fast or far in all her life. She felt she could have run forever. She didn't even feel like her feet touched the ground. The sun seemed to be dancing and gleaming and bouncing across the sky, racing with her and shining brighter than she could even remember in the clear, fresh air. And it seemed to her that morning as she ran almost as if the whole world had been made anew, almost as if the whole world was singing for joy. The trees, tiny sounds in the grass, the birds, her heart. Was God really making everything sad come untrue? Was he making even death come untrue? She couldn't wait to tell Jesus' friends. They wouldn't believe it, she laughed. She was right, of course. And that is the end of our story today. So we hope that you and your family have an awesome Easter. And Addie and I just have one short activity that we want to show you that if you are up for a little bonus activity you can do this week for fun. So we are going to, we think it would be fun, actually, I should say, to make either a cake or brownies or Rice Krispie bars or some kind of bars that your family enjoys for Easter. And then to help you remember the joy of Easter, we're going to show you how you can make a cross with your bars or cake or whatever you choose to make. So if we are going to show you how you do this. So if we're going to pretend that this piece of paper is our cake or bars. And what you do is you're going to cut your bars down the middle. And then on one side, you're going to cut it into thirds. And then Addie, she's just going to show you the piece of paper, is going to show you this is what you do. You take your 3 pieces, and you're probably going to have to use like a spatula or something, and you can put it on like a cookie sheet, and you can make your cross with your 3 pieces and your 1 long piece. And then if you want to, for fun, you could frost or decorate with sprinkles or sugars or whatever you have at your house. And after you finish your treat, I would like you to talk with your family about the joy you have because Jesus is alive. So we hope you have fun and you have a happy Easter, and we look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come.